to bow down your heads.
So preview on Trump term 2.0. Okay. Trump term 1.0, obviously rife with a lot of people who I think were sabotaging the president.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be no shortage of that this time around too. Donald Trump, like, odds are the literal smart money is like pouring into Trump to win this election. I think he's in a good spot. What happens term 2? Let's say Trump puts you in charge of declassification, and Trump's promised to.
You're going to learn a lot more about UFOs if that happens.
Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, so let's rock on this. Trump says declassification. He's on the trail saying Epstein list, JFK. You're going to find out some of the dirty deeds of your government and who's been protected. Why is the world's foremost pederast protected? This makes no sense. Like this is like evil, right? Like everyone agrees on it. It's like you got a 99%
on Epstein. Bill Barr is the one that needs to be called in to give sworn testimony on what happened there at Bureau of Prisons, because that is not that. There's just no way that the story you're getting is the real story there. No freaking way, and Bill Barr knows it.
I think most people believe that, right? And like it's like no way that that's.
I actually think it was I actually think that on Epstein, it was a foreign government that took him out. I don't think it was a domestic enterprise.
Really?
I do. I'm not going to say which one, but I don't think it was domestic inspired to take out of him. I think that was a foreign operation, government sponsored.
So foreign operation took out Epstein inside of our prison.
Yes.
So they must have been allowed to.
Oh, I think it was in concert with people in our government.
Wow.
But not at like some, low level guard getting bribed kind of way.
Yeah.
At a state to state level.
So that's probably a lot of partied interests in keeping that under wraps.
You better believe it. Weapon systems at play, global deals at play.
Interesting. You have evidence to back that up?
I just am positing it as a theory.
Wow. Okay. Bro, you should totally be in charge of declassification. Trump's promised all this. So the Epstein list, real quickly, let's go through it. The Epstein list. The government knows who the clients were.
Oh, absolutely.
And so why wouldn't they? These people are engaging in criminal activity. This is some of the darkest shit. Like, you can't defend it, right? What happened on the island. I'm not saying everyone he ever shook hands with is guilty of it, but he did go to Bill Clinton's White House like dozens of times. Bill Clinton did fly on the Lolita Express dozens of times. And when we found out the testimony from those young women that was just unsealed, they're naming Bill Clinton. They're putting Bill Clinton on that island. And so it's like, is it to protect the institution of the American government? Like, they don't want the information to get out that Bill Clinton is such a monster because it actually crumbles the legitimacy of the institution. Is that why he's being protected?
No. What do I tell you? Dude, who do you think what do you think Epstein is? Okay.
Intel.
Of course.
For probably a foreign nation.
Right.
Maybe
right. But let's not name it. Let's not smear any nations. But Epstein is working for a foreign government, and his job is to bait these powerful Americans into these compromising circumstances as a method of compromise. Like, this is not a really novel theory of espionage. It goes on all the time. And so he's creating the honeypot. He's getting them stuck in the honeypot, and he has all that. So if you start releasing the client list, don't think about it in terms of how powerful they are. Think about how powerful the compromise is. Because once you know the clients, then you're going to know the deliverables. Like, you think they just got that information on people and then just kept it and said, don't be naughty? No, those people then had taskings that they had to do for Epstein's bosses. And so everyone thinks that the client list isn't out because the people on the list are so powerful. And there may be a feature of that, but it's actually what was being delivered back as a function of the extortion that I think is what a lot of powerful people in our government don't want exposed.
because they would be a part of this operation, because it would like implicate the American government in part of the scheme.
Let me just, all right, let's break it down this way. Let's say, country X, and I actually think there were probably multiple countries involved in running Epstein, but country X is running Epstein.
Yeah.
Epstein gets powerful person into a compromising situation, and then country X like really needs to sell a widget to the United States, right? Now all of a sudden they can put pressure on that powerful official to get that widget purchased.
Sure.
Now assume that widget doesn't work, and we have it. It was just a way to facilitate the money laundering and the payoff. Well, now you got to be able to explain that.
Right.
And let's assume like some very powerful company makes that widget and makes billions of dollars on that widget. Now you're doing more than like impacting Bill Clinton's reputation. You're impacting a multi-billion-dollar revenue stream, and people get killed for that stuff.
Right. And he did get killed for it, but before he got killed, he was like let out of prison for those exact same crimes, for like the underage crimes here in Florida.
Why do you think that was?
Acosta says under testimony, I think he might have been on the committee. He's like, he belongs to Intel. Alex Acosta said it. He belongs to Intel.
Yeah. When you're the like,
what does that mean? He belongs to Intel, right?
That means somebody shows up at your office when you're the prosecutor, and they say this person has to be put back into the information stream, and they need to be out of this problem so that they can be leveraged and utilized.
The American government flexed its muscle to protect a terrorist.
I don't even think this is the only example.
Wow. So that's why we may never know unless somebody has like the full-throated capacity to go in and muscularly declassify all
and put at jeopardy revenue streams that make people very rich and very powerful potentially to this day.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. You're right. Is this the same Diddy? Is this a Diddy thing?
No.
Is this similar?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. The operation seems similar, right? The video cameras, the politicians, the people at the parties. It seems like on paper, it seems like a similar.
I guess the reason with Epstein the
same prison cell in Manhattan.
But with Epstein believing that this guy's got like a backstory that you wouldn't even believe if he was a character on Lost.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas the Diddy thing is, maybe a little more, you can associate it with at the time what kind of the worst parts of hip hop culture in that era. But like with Epstein, it's just so obviously an intel op. Maybe you'll see the same in Diddy's case. I don't know. I haven't seen that evidence.
Feds were really excited to raid, grab as many videotapes as they could. Okay. All right. It makes you wonder. It's a head scratcher. So biologics on UFOs.
Okay. What time? How long have we? Jesus, how long have we been doing this?
I don't know. My producers keep telling me we have to wrap, but
I'm not. You know what? UFOs we're gonna have to save for next time. Right. I just told you though, it should be at the top of the list on declassification.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be my cliffhanger.
All right, fine. Final message to people. The hurricane is supposed to hit in the next 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Final message out here. We're on the panhandle right now, so this is not going to be an impact area. This is why I brought my family up here.
Yeah. Benny's doing like a regular Clyde W. Griswold. He loaded up the whole fam, got in the car, went on the long road trip.
Christmas tree on top.
And so when I came in here to see him, his daughters are there, watching television, and one of his cute daughters turns to him and says, "I'd like a book." So if you're wondering whether or not Benny Johnson is raising up a trad little batch of family members, they are tired of the streaming. They are tired of the Disney. They want books in this in the Johnson household. Look, I want to end the same way I started. We've got the Pensacola Bay Center open. If you do not have the resources for hotels or rentals, that should not be the reason you have to put your life in jeopardy in a low-lying area on the Florida Gulf Coast. And so, as we say in the South, y'all come. We're ready for you at the Pensacola Bay Center. Got plenty of assets, plenty of resources, and it won't be an experience that you'll regret. Certainly, compared to this storm surge is going to be very serious. And just with the way Florida is shaped, you push that much water kind of into the Tampa Bay area, where you've already had a lot of saturation, there's going to be very serious flooding. And so don't wait too long. We'll help you out here in Pensacola and make sure that you're cared for properly.
Don't listen to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris says, do not come. You can.
Yeah, yeah, no, we will not be unburdened by what has been. We'll have to rebuild in a lot of places, but we'll be ready for it.
We'll be ready for it. I have a lot of confidence in the state. Very proud of the governor. I think he's like crushing it right now, and a lot of like the state reps. Some of the best members of Congress come from the state, yourself included, with like big audiences to warn people and like give out good information. I think that's really unsung virtue of having a huge big audience is you can inform people accurately in times like this.
Yeah, Rep Luna's doing a great job for our constituents. That's a sound of freedom. We got if you ever come to Northwest Florida, the two things you will not miss are our bases and our beaches. It's
that's right.
Bases and beaches. That's an F-35 right there. In fact, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's
awesome.
It's one of the 30% of them that can fly.
Maybe something else we could declassify. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. That we'll you know what? I'll come back. We'll do the Benny show on the F-35 and UFOs.
Okay, great.
That'll be our next episode.
Which one is which? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Congressman, thank you.
Good seeing you, man.
Right.
I gotta roll.